Okay, so Vikram. Hello, Vikram.
Yes, sir.
Okay, last actually I have high fever. That's why I cannot join actually the previous week actually. Okay, so let's start. Actually, I have high fever actually, and I was sick actually. That's why.
Okay, sir. No problem, sir.
So last day, what we have done? I think last day we have completed the HTML, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I think last day we have completed the HTML, and all of you, I have one task for you. You have to share in your group, in your Java team 20 group. You have learned HTML, and with just HTML, you have to make one form. You have to make one registration form with the form tag and all. You know the form. You know how to create a form, right?
No, sir.
Okay, so you. I think we have done the form actually. Okay, so okay, let's take form. Then how to make it? How to make interactive form? Then we'll go to the next CSS. Next topic is the CSS. Okay, so Ria. Hello, Ria. Ria, can you hear me? Hello, Shushmita.
Yes, sir.
I think you know how to create a form, right?
Sir, I have
Okay.
forgot. Sorry.
Yes.
I have forgot.
Okay. And what about Ria? Okay, don't worry. I have just
Hello.
shown you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Please repeat, sir. Hello.
Yeah. You remember the how to create HTML form, right?
Sorry, sir. I could not hear actually properly. Sorry, sir. Please repeat. Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear.
Okay. So I think you know the how to make HTML form, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you little bit show them how to make HTML form?
Sir, I am joining from phone actually today.
Okay. Can you give just little bit introduction of them, and then I show them the code and
about the HTML.
about the HTML form, how to create a form, which tag we needed, just the theory part actually, so that they can join the so that they can make the HTML form and submit in the group.
Yeah, my HTML, no?
Yes.
Yeah. I will briefly describe about the HTML too.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, for HTML, this is the hyperlink. Now, wait, sir. If it is good, actually, I will show you. We know why we are using HTML. Actually, HTML actually it is used for it is hypertext markup language, and it is used for create a web page. Actually, it is the main thing. If we want to create a web page, this is the main thing that we have to know. And here we are some tags are here that we have to know that we know the HTML tags, that the body tags, where the whenever we want to write anything within HTML, we have to mention the body tag. And there are many tags in the HTML. That's the, if we want to bold any text, we use the bold tags, that is small b. If we want to that means the important
I
text.
have shared, sorry, I have shared the all the tags and they are working also. Just
Yeah.
quickly go through the chat box and you can see how to make a form with these tags. Okay, Ria, continue.
I will continue on, should I
Yes,
stop?
yes, you will continue.
Yeah. If we want to, if we are writing any line, and within this line we want to particular part, we want to the important text that we want to show, that time what tag should we use? The strong tag. Within strong tag, we will write the important text actually. And the smaller text, if we want to create a smaller text, the small tag actually we will use. And deleted, we know that if we want to delete any portion or any word, so we use actually del tag. And subscripted and superscripted. Subscripted means that is subscripted means that is sub, no sir, that is below too.
Yes,
That means the H2O. Hello.
yes, Ria.
Yeah. And there are many there are tags actually subscripted. If we want to write that um, a square, actually a square, so that is the subscripted. So we want to if we want to write 2 a to the power 3, so this 3 we for this writing we have to use the superscripted text. Superscripted, that means sup tag. And if we want to write like H2O or NH3, like this type of name, that means for these things we have to write, we have to mention the subscripted tag, that is mean sub. And that's the thing actually, this tags.
Okay. So anyone have any doubt what Ria tell up to this? Devajyoti, have you any doubt? I can give you some small codes so you can do this. Hello, Devajyoti.
Yes, sir.
If you have any problem up to this, what she was telling.
No, sir, it was clear. Sir.
Okay, so now I'm just giving you in the chat box small text fields and all, how to create a form, how to create a basic structure of a form. I'm just sharing with you. First start with very simple. Then we will increase the form length. And so in the program, as you can see here, there is the body tab, and then the form tag will start. If you create any form in the HTML, then you always have to start the form tag and end the form tag. Then you have to enter your name. It is called BR tag. BR means break tag. Break. Enter your name. You have to enter your name. You have to write your name, and then input type equals to text and name user. Input type. What is your input type? Suppose if you give email ID in your registration form, so you can give input type equals to email. But here, it is your name is your text, just like texting. That's why it is input type equals to text and name username. And this is the form. So that is and in the form tag and in the body tag. So that is the total program. So do this in your machine. I am sending you another code, similar time. The form. Just do these two code. Okay, here, as you can see here, document type HTML, then HTML, this is the head. Here you can see this is the title form in HTML. Then body tag will start. In the body tag, you have to always remember when I create any form, when I write the form code in HTML, you always have to write in the body tag. That is, you have to remember. So in the body tag, and then start the form tag, enter your address. In the form tag, suppose here they can say enter your address. So you can write enter your address. This is called BR tag, break tag. This is called text area. Text area means what is your text area? Rows equals to 2. You can give rows 2 and columns 20. And you end the text area. Then form tag and body tag and HTML tag. So let's see what is the output. Okay, so if anyone has done, please share your screen. The Bikram, can you share your screen?
Sorry, sir. Actually, my broadband is not working today, so I join with my phone.
Okay. Okay, then Devajit, can you share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Please little bit explain that code what you have done, what you are doing.
Sir, please repeat.
Can you please explain that code line by line little bit?
Okay, sir. Sir, it is a title of for form, and this is a head, and this is a body starting, and this is the body end, and this is the form, and this is says text area. So for we use text area, we can write address or many more things like paragraph.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay, and run this and show the output.
Okay. So this is the output.
Actually, okay, you have to do the full screen actually. So you have to share the full screen.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, 1 minute. Sir.
Yes.
So is it visible, sir?
No, it is not. No, the browser is not visible actually. You stop share and you share the whole screen. In the, you just do the yes. Now it is okay.
So now,
Yes. Now it is okay.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Stop share. And now I am giving you another 2 or 3 fields. Here you give just
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, can you explain me again why is the rows and columns specified here?
Rows and column. You just see the Devajyoti Mishra screen. Okay, Devajyoti,
Okay.
can you again please share your screen? Share the output.
No problem. I'll share.
Okay. Okay, when you give the row and column, just here you
Yeah.
can just here enter your address and you can just text area. Text area means your box. In after the below, enter your address. This is the total box. That is your text area. That is your text
Yes.
area, total space, and you can expand this, or you can not expand this. That's maintain only that is the 20 and 2 row and columns. That is your text area actually. Text area rows equals to 2
Okay,
and
so
columns equals to 20. You can change this and then run this.
yeah.
Now run this.
Yeah, it's been reloaded, sir.
Can you see this just little bit expanded from the previous text area?
Yes, yes. Okay.
So that
So
is
this
the
is
thing.
to so the rows and columns are to define the size of the text box.
Yes, there is a text area. Your
Okay.
entire text
Okay, okay.
box is the text area filter.
Okay. Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you.
Okay, then move to the next program. Next program is your little bit. We just use the first name, then we can move to the another. It is called last name. We can go to step by step. The code. Just do this. In this code, I'm just once I am telling that you're starting the HTML tag, then body tag, then here H2 tag is given, and here H2 tag text input fields. In a heading tag, you can give any. Here text input fields they are given, and in the form tag, into the form tag level for if name, this is called first name level, and break tag input type. The first name means input type text. Obviously, this input type is text. ID equals you have to give the ID. It's called if name value equals to, and what is the value means your name actually. You have to give your name, value equals to 0, and then again break, then again l name means what? L name is last name, then level, then break, and again input type last name also input type text similar, and ID equals to l name equals to l name mean last name, and value is 2. So the full name is here John Doe actually. So value means your name actually. and the form tag end. Then again the paragraph tag start P tag. Note that the form itself is not visible. That is called paragraph tag, and another paragraph tag is there, then ending the body and HTML tag. There is a total. Shushmita? Hello, Shushmita.
Yes, sir.
Now little bit remember.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Devendra, can you share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, why use for here?
Actually, it is the rule. You have to know just level for actually. Level means what? Level here, level tag means your first name and last name is in the same level. Starting from the same level, same position. Just like the margin actually. First your first name field and the last name field. Starting with the level.
Okay, sir.
And you have to give your ID, and always remember your ID is perfectly fine, because if you change the ID, then the form will cannot be submitted. You have to give the ID very carefully. And input type, suppose you can give, suppose you just remove the text, just go to the input type. Just go to the where you write input type equals to text. Just go to that, and then go to the card, move to the cursor there. Yes, is there. Input type is there.
So here if type equal to test, so only
Yes, you just
value into test value.
yes, input your first name and last name, or your first name is you text, right? Your name is your text, so it is the input type text. If you just suppose if you give your email ID, then input type equals to email. If you give your phone number, then your input type equals to number. That is the thing. Whatever you give the registration form, your input type will be changed accordingly.
Okay, sir.
So that is the here. So you just remove the text. Just remove the text, and you can here just remove the text, and here give email.
Here.
Email. Just write email. 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 Just write here. Yes.
Email.
Email. Yes.
Yes.
Now save this and run this. And you have to give your what is it, level for equals to email ID. You have to change accordingly. When you give input type equals to email, then you have to change level for equals to email ID or email, whatever you write.
Yeah, right.
No, not there. In the code, line number 13. Yes, line number 13, level for equals to, here you write last name, L name. Just remove the L name and write email. Write email. Yes. Now you just write here last name. Here you give email ID. Remove the last name and give email ID. Yes. Now go to the ID. Now go to the line number 14. You have to change all the fields accordingly. In line number 14, you just give ID equals to email. And name equals to email. And value equals to your email ID. Just see here in the right side, change the field email ID, right?
Yes.
Just change email ID and your email ID. You can add your phone number. Just enter after the line number 40. Up, yes. In line number 15, you just copy the whole line. Just copy the whole line and then you can give your phone number. No, just level up to the level. You just copy and paste first line number 13 and 14. Then you have to edit. And then paste in line number 56. Yes. Now in line number 15, you just go for phone number. Level for equals to phone number. You can write PH number, not you don't have to write full name. Okay, phone. So yes, right.
Contact कर सकते हैं?
Yes, you can write here contact number. Okay, now here email ID, change the email ID to phone number. Phone number and input type equals to number. Number, yes. And ID equals to contact. And name equals to also contact. And value equals to what you give your number. Okay, now save this and run this. Oh, it is already showing actually. Okay, so your phone number is just beside the email ID. So you can give the break tag actually. In line number 14, just give the break tag. Yes. Now see the output. Is your first name, email ID, phone number. Just you can also do after the first name, you can write the last name.
Yes.
After the first name, after the 11 and 12, you can do the last name also. Last name field. In that way, we have to create one registration form or any kind of form. Okay. Now it is showing the last name will come.
First name, last name, email ID, then phone number.
Phone number. You can add your address also.
And
After line number 19, yes, you can add address also. You have to change input type equals to address.
here for not is type.
Okay, here you don't have to give the text area. You can give text area, but okay, you can give text area, no problem. You give just address. You give address.
Okay, address field. So here.
Yes, just do the button. Okay, okay, can Devendra please stop share?
Okay.
First of all, I am giving a small example of button and radio button. Okay, so now I am giving you one radio button example. Just do this. I'm already shared in the chat. Just see it. Here, what they are saying starting the HTML tag, body tag, and H2 tag, and inside the H2 tag, they are written radio buttons. And in the paragraph tag, choose your favorite web language. What is your favorite web language? So we have to choose. It is HTML or CSS or JavaScript. So you have to choose HTML, then you have to click, then you have to choose the CSS. Otherwise, you have to choose the JavaScript. That is called radio button. Input type radio, ID, HTML, name, fab language. What is your fab language? Value HTML. In that way, you have to create three options: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then in form tag, body tag, and HTML. Main input type here is radio. That is called radio button. You have to choose that. What is your favorite web language? It is maybe HTML. It is maybe CSS, or it is maybe JavaScript. Okay, so do this. Devjyoti, can you share your screen? Hello,
Yes.
Devjyoti. Okay. Is just your favorite language. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You have to choose, right? It's for radio button.
Yes.
Okay, now stop share. Yes. Okay, next, how you create the checkboxes. How you create the checkbox. Checkbox means your input type will be checkbox. You just write in the input type field, in the input type equals to checkbox. Suppose you have bike, car, or boat. Which one do you have? You have to write all the three. You have to check this, or you have unchecked this. How you can do this? I am just sharing. You have just input type, nothing else. You just have write input type equals to checkbox. These are all the HTML form fields. In the chat box, just input type check box, and here is nothing else. Okay, Orgodip, can you share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and show the output. Check this. Yes. Okay, now stop sharing.
What is action? Here from action.
Okay, form action, it is a different thing. When you learn the Spring Boot actually, then I will tell you.
Okay.
When you learn the Spring Boot, then I will tell you what is the form action. Form action means you just write one Spring Boot main application, then you have to give the annotation in the post mapping gateway. That's a basically CRUD application: create, update, delete, and you have to fetch the data from database, or you have to delete the data. We have to create the data or update the data. This is for CRUD application. It's called. So in the CRUD application, we use when we attach one form, then we have to write the action. Then we have to. It is the main usage of the action. So it is not a big problem now. When you understand the CRUD application, then you have to understand the form action. Actually, here form action, we have to write the form action. What you write the CRUD application, the annotation maybe, annotation part. What you write the hit. Suppose you hit one URL in the post mapping or get mapping. You just hit one URL. So that URL name is the same name of the form action. If the name is not same, the page cannot be open. The form cannot be open. That is the thing. Okay, so now next move to the submit. How we submit? What is the button? How we create one button? Submit or delete one form. Just check this. Okay, Devendra, share your screen.
Yes, sir.
No, no, not that one. Just I'm just the submit button. Okay, it is a submit button. Also, is the example of submit button. That is fine. Okay, now stop share. Okay. Now I'm giving one total form example, total HTML form example. Your machine. Just wait, I am giving. Here, actually, main problem is that the chat option cannot work. Here I paste, but cannot paste. Why it will happen? Hello, Ria. Hello, Ria. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello, Sushmita.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you copy and paste anything in the chat box, because I think in the chat box I have some problem. I'm facing some problem.
Yes, sir. My chat box is working.
Can you paste one HTML form
Okay, sir.
on total HTML form?
Okay, sir.
Hello, Sushmita, can you send?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please send one complete form of form HTML examples.
Yeah.
I am sharing one link, so you can go through the link and just see the code here in the total HTML form, and you can do this. Just see the chat box. I am just sharing one link. The total HTML. Okay, so Devendra, please share your screen. Okay, just do the code here. You can.
Hello.
Okay, just scroll down, scroll down. Okay, scroll down. Okay, just do it. I am giving you. Now see this link. I'm giving in the chat box. Now see this link.
This code, sir.
No, I'm giving in the link. Yes, you can do this. Just see, I am in the chat box. I'm just giving. Yes. Now copy that. Now you can use that example. Yes, copy and paste in your editor. Then run this.
This code not pasted.
Okay, just expand the window. Expand the VS Code window. Okay, now save this and run this.
Hello, sir.
Yes, now save this and run this. Now fill up the form. Fill up the form.
Form.
Yes, fill the form. Yes. You are a valid user, right? It will be shown. Okay, so go to the code. Now again go to the code. Okay, so you don't understand any line from here. First of all, here one field is your first name, second field is your last name, and again next is here registered email. So what is your email ID? Then your gender, and gender is in the radio button. So you have to choose the radio button while you are male or female or other. And next, after that, you have to register your country. You have to register your country. So this is the option. One input type, it is called option. Option value equals to India. You are from India or Pakistan or Africa or China or other anything. So you have to choose which country you are from. So that is called option. So these are the 5 countries. These are the 5 options. So these are the basically these are the fields: your name, last name, your first name, last name, email ID, gender, and your country. And then your submit button. You have to end your submit button. So you have to submit the form. Okay, so understand the form, Devendra?
Yes, but if we click submit button, then where go our data?
No, data will not going anywhere because we don't create any database. After if we create any database, then the data will go to the database. Otherwise, it is just register and just show that the register button will work. That's it. The data will not going any database or anywhere.
Okay,
Okay. Now stop share. So actually this is your form. Okay, so Bikram, now understand the form, how to create one registration form.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so now a little bit start the CSS. After the HTML form, there is nothing in HTML. And then our next topic is start the CSS. And then after the CSS, we will go to the JavaScript. Actually, our roadmap is what? Our roadmap is first we learn HTML. We have already learned HTML. Then we learn CSS. And then after the CSS, we learn JavaScript. Next topic is JavaScript. Then after that, we learn Java, the programming language, Java. So that is our roadmap. So your HTML has done, and then we move to the CSS. Okay, so I think Ria has already gone. Okay, so Shushmita.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can you little bit say the introduction? What is CSS and how we can use the CSS? Little bit introduction, just like Ria has given.
Okay, sir. CSS
Yes.
stands for cascading style sheets. CSS basically we use for styling and padding in HTML web page. For using CSS, our HTML documents shows more attractive. So for more attractive, we use CSS. So that's it.
Why we can use CSS?
For using CSS, we use style tag.
For better attractiveness.
There
Actually.
are three types of CSS: inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. So for internal and inline CSS, we are we use style tag. Style tag mainly we use between head tag, and we are use external CSS. External CSS we use also head tag.
Okay. So basically, CSS means cascading style sheet, and basically, what we use in the CSS, why we use CSS in the HTML. We use CSS for attractiveness of the web page. We can only use HTML for building a web page, but we cannot do. Our client, suppose our client says, I need better attractiveness of the website. I need color of the website. I need color or attractiveness or beautifulness, whatever you say. So in that purpose or in that case, we just use CSS for adding the color, changing the color, updating the color, or deleting the color, or change the style of the website, web page, change the inner structure of the web page, with inner color structure of the web page, for giving the shadow in the web page. For all purposes, we use CSS. CSS means cascading style sheet. So the cascade is an algorithm. Actually, what is the cascade? So cascade is an algorithm that defines how user agents combine property values. Okay, I'm just sharing screen just to it. Yeah, I'm just sharing you that you can go through the theory. What is the CSS? What is the CSS cascade? The cascade is an algorithm. What is a cascade? Cascade is an algorithm that defines how user agents combine property values originating from different sources. So we can gather different types of information from different sources. Then you can colorfill it. We can build the inner structure of a web page that is called HTML, and then we have to color this, that is called CSS. For cascading style sheet, we have to styling it. That is called cascading style sheet. So the cascade defines the origin and layer that takes precedence when declaration is more than one origin, or cascade layer. Set a value for a property. So here there are so many properties in the CSS, so we have to learn. So so you can user again styles. You can go through. You can use what are the origin types. Okay, so I'm going to just jump to the CSS layout. That is a more important. What is the CSS layout? You can add new loop, and what you can see in the CSS, you can add new loops to your old HTML document. You can completely change the look of your website. So why use CSS? So first we have to understand why use CSS. Solve a big problem, saves a lot of time, and provide more attributes. And in the CSS, in the HTML, we cannot use so many attributes, but in the CSS, we use so many attributes. Okay, so what is the CSS syntax? If I stop here and giving you the another web page. Just wait. What is the basic syntax of CSS? how you write the CSS. Just see this CSS syntax. You can go through this. So just see here. You have to write one h1 tag. Yeah, you have to write one h1 tag in the body, under the body. You all write the CSS under the body tag or inside the body tag. H1, your heading one, H1, just give the second bracket. Your color is yellow and your font size is 11 px. Px means pixel. What is your font size? You can give anything 11 px or 12 px, 13 px, anything you want to give. It is your choice. But your color is also your choice. It is maybe yellow, it's maybe green, red, whatever you want to like, you can give. But the main style is this. It is a selector. H1 is a selector. And it is a declaration. Color is yellow, font size 11 pixels. That is called declaration. It is a declaration block, and it is a property. What is the property? Property is color. Color is one property of the CSS. Font size is one property of the CSS, and it is a value. It's called yellow. That is the main thing. So everyone understand the syntax, how we write the CSS.
Yes, sir.
There is the selector, that is the property, that is the value, and that is the declaration. Total is a declaration. Okay, so let's start first program of the CSS. So there are so many selector, actually CSS element selector, ID selector, class selector, group selector, universal selector. So there are so many selectors out there. Okay, first, we have to go to the example of element selector. First, we have to go to the example of element selector. Just I'm just doing it. Element selector, and here is the P. It is a text align center and color is blue. That is your CSS. Text align is center and color is blue. For the better understanding, I am giving you that website I am just previously shown you. See that I am just sharing you the link. Okay, now Orgodi, can you please share your screen? Over there. So that is the color is blue, right? And what is your CSS part? The CSS part is it's called T. The text line center color is blue and color is one property. Your text line is one property. That is the property, and the value is what? Value is center blue. That is your value. And here your ID, and here your ID is para1. Okay, now stop share. And now I'm just giving you ID selector. I think you have already done the ID selector. There is element selector, ID selector, and class selector also. And I am also just sharing you the class selector. So under the class, you can give your value center, or maybe this text align center, or left or right, anything. Class selector. So these are the three examples of your three types of selector: element selector, ID selector, and class selector. Okay, Devjyoti, can you share your screen? So that is the class selector, right? Okay, now stop share. Dot center. Actually, here we have to mention when you mention ID, you just write ID equals to something. When you mention the class, then we have to write dot class name. That is the difference between ID and class in the selector. So we have to understand that thing in the CSS. When you mention the ID selector, then you have to just write H1, then second bracket, then your property and done. But when you define the class, then we have to give dot H1. That is the difference between your class and your ID selector, class selector. So that is the main difference thing, main thing between the class and ID. So when you mention the class, then you have to give the dot, and when you don't give the class, you give the ID, then you just write the ID. That is the thing. Okay, so just next example is if you give CSS class selector for specific element. For specific element, if you give on class, just do this code. Here you just can see here p dot center. Here, what is the class? Class dot center. This is a specific. Here text align center, color is blue, style head and body tag end, then h1 class center. So what is the class? It is the class center dot center. That is the class p dot center. So here the p is the specific. Paragraph is blue and center aligned. So this line, only this line will be blue. Otherwise the no, otherwise other line will be blank. This paragraph is blue and center aligned. It is called p under the paragraph tag. So paragraph tag dot your class p dot center. Then text align center and color is blue. That is the selector, specific selector. Okay, Devendra, share your screen.
ক্লাস চলছে। হ্যাঁ
Hello, Rodhi, please.
আসলে সব পড়ে কাজ করলাম মশলা দিয়ে একটা তরকারি করে দিত 2000
Okay, Devendra, just do the next example. Yes, just give the P tag and then just look here. The specific that this paragraph is blue and center align this line will be blue. But this heading is blue and center aligned. This line cannot be blue. Why? Because we write P dot center, we can specifically write the element specific class example. Understand this example?
If here use H1.
Yes, that's called yes. Let's give here. Yes. So basically your heading will be changed. This heading is blue and center aligned.
Okay, sir.
And always remember when you give only H1, then write text align center color blue. That is called your ID. And when you mention the class selector, then you have to mention dot. There is a difference. Yeah, that is your ID. That is treated your H1 is your ID. But when you just write dot H1 or dot center, then you just give your it is your class. As you can see here in line number 12, class equals to center.
Class to center.
Yes, just you can just write here H1 dot center.
Yes.
Not here. You can just do here in the line number 5, H1 dot center. You just here in line number 12, you just give your class name. Yes, just remove the H1 dot in line number 12. In line number 12, remove the H1 dot. Yes. Okay, so understand this, Devendra?
Yes, sir.
And now understand this problem?
Okay, sir.
Okay, now stop share. Okay, so up to this, it is already 10. So up to this, we just starting the CSS, and we just learn how we use CSS in the HTML tab. What is the selector? There are ID selector, class selector, how we write the ID selector, how we write the class selector, why we use the CSS, how we use the CSS in the HTML tab. So you all can understand, and there are so many more attributes out there in the CSS, so we can learn in the next session. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you. I'm just ending the meeting. Thank you.